You know, many people have said, who is the picture here? That is my beloved grandmother, Maria Secord Bango. Incredible, huh? Love it. Absolutely love it. Familiar, nothing like it. And you know, I have a lot of family that directly or indirectly has had something to do with a lot of these great companies in our region, especially the manufacturing industry. And I love business. And last night, Mauricio Viad, senior research analyst from Heffron Tillotson, and I talked about the big business news of the day. And the man that I really wanted to talk to got a client dinner tonight, Dave Pasquale, but a very close second. And the only reason I didn't call him first because he's very busy 24/7, Mr. Ted Arnaud. And he knows a little bit about General Electric. Jeff Emails is stepping aside after an 11-year tenure, Ted, and I just got to get your thoughts on the future. John Flannery is going to be the go-to guy. He's coming from GE Healthcare, which is their signature at this point, one of the things that is actually continuing to work for them at a very high level. So what do you see happening to GE, and how do they evolve heading into the Flannery era, which will begin at the end of the year?
Well, I think it's going to be, my dad worked for GE for 30 years and retired and had a great retirement, worked as a engineer, actually worked on all the power plants up and down the Ohio River, especially in Ohio, on the Ohio side. So I've followed GE for years and years, and Immelt has been a left of center leader of GE, and I think that will continue. But GE is a global company. They have issues all throughout the world, and they really tackle them one by one. And I think changing the leadership at GE, given the board that they have and everything, is almost like trying to change the direction of one of these huge ships that you see coming up and down the Ohio River. It doesn't matter who's behind the wheel. The ship is going to go turn very slowly, very directly, and I think that's what GE is.
You know, the move puts an end to months of speculation that Immelt, who had been the GE CEO for, as I mentioned, 11 years, Immelt has been under pressure to improve the company's performance. Flannery is a fix-it kind of guy. I learned that from Mauricio Viad last night, 55 years of age, 30-year veteran of GE. In his most recent role as CEO and president of GE Healthcare, he spurred a turnaround that saw subsidiaries' revenue increase by 5% according to the company. And let's face it, Ted, that's what it's all about. One of the things, though, that I was very impressed with Mr. Immelt, even though he sold off some of their assets, he really put a lot of stake into energy, in particular wind energy. Well, that's something they think is a big part of the future. What about GE's role in energy moving forward now that Immelt is stepping aside?
Well, it's a very progressive company, and they don't look at next year. They don't look at 5 years. They don't look at 10 years. They look at 50 years, and I think that's what he did, and said, okay, we've got alternative energy that we have to get involved in. And, remember, GE was one of the inventors of the turbine engine that we see up and down the Ohio River with the smokestacks. What they're doing is powering the turning of the turbine engines to really have electricity going up and down. And what he's doing is saying, we need to look at alternatives to that, because the primary portion of that is coal-based. And even though it seems archaic, back in the 60s when I worked at one of the powerhouses, my job was to combine coke oven gas at one of the steel mills, coal and natural gas. So they were looking at combining these energy sources way back when. So to introduce wind is just part of the natural progression that they've had.
In closing, Ted, some of the entities that they're still involved with at a high level: aircraft engines, appliances, electric distribution, electric motors, energy, as we mentioned, gas, healthcare, lighting, locomotives, which has always been their signature, and oil as well moving forward, water, weapons, and wind turbines, which we were just discussing. What do you think are some of the keys to them moving forward and remaining an amazing brand that I think still has a lot of growth potential?
Well, if you really look at their products are energy related. So no matter what they develop, what they produce down the road, it's all going to come back to energy, how it's produced, how it's used, and how it's used most efficiently. And I think that's going to continue to be their focus.
The great Ted Arnaud on the Comcast Business Line, talking the business of GE, who I believe is going to be powering the world for many generations to come. Good night from your Pratt Pack. We're on our way to the Brighton Hot Dog Shop talking sports with the Beaver County Times' Jim Equals in just a little while. I hope you'll join us.